I do have some questions. Listen to the end. I was thinking of giving a good talk, but I couldn't think of anything.
Let us ask questions.
Yeah.
That usually gets you going.
No, I probably have to ask a skilled person how to give a good talk. So the question is, what is a good talk? Yes, if you have an answer.
Well, I think for me, a good talk is something that's relevant to what I'm working on. And because it tends to give me some insights into it, it gives me some ideas of how to approach it. But if it's something that I've already something that I'm not working on, it's not as interesting because it's not immediately pertinent to what I'm doing. Like body investigation is what's preoccupying. And so that's what I find now to be what's timely for me. I'm not talking about other people. I realize everybody is in a place, so it's hard to make timely.
So in other words, if I, just to make it short, a good talk is that what we want to hear. Not so good talk is that we don't want to hear.
Well, most of what you talked about last time, I said, remember you asked if it was a good talk, and I said, well, you've done better.
Yes.
Now.
And that is, it was going on in my mind for 2 days.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's not. It has nothing to do,
Yeah.
I'm not beyond criticism.
Okay. Well,
I like, and it is, you gave just the right answer. Isn't that fantastic? I asked you how you like the talk, and you said you have given better talks. And that's why I'm asking the question, what is a good talk and what is not such a good talk? And you just give me the right answer again. If you would understand your own answer, and if you would understand my question, the inside must be rolling. The coin must be dropping. But it doesn't. Yeah. Okay, now let's explain what was dropping. First him, and then you.
Okay. Right now, I'm preoccupied with the body investigation, and I've had a lot of, I would, say good results. Mm-hmm. But I'm sort of have reached a point where I don't know how to proceed. And one thing that baffles me, and I keep coming back to it, but I can't really get sort of an answer or get beyond the 4 elements of earth, water, air, fire. Now, I grew up on the earth, strong protons and neutrons. And when I look at, like Earth is solidity, water is liquid, air is gas, fire is essentially energy, what animates it, what moves the universe and creates time. Okay? And that's the only thing I can see in that, and I can't really get into looking at my body.
Okay, stop right now. Stop right now, because I asked you a question, and you asked me the question about body investigation. Yes, you're so preoccupied that you can't put your attention onto something else. Okay, now, Peter.
Well, I would have said what you just said, for someone who's still practicing, the best tool for him to give is to talk about what you're doing. Any questions coming back? The questions need to clarify what's actually
But you all avoid my question. Maybe Alice is going to give me a good answer. What was my question? The question was a good talk, or not such a good talk. And yes, and then I said, he gave me the right answer. I mean, I told you in the beginning, a good talk is that what we want to hear, or what we need to hear, or what we think we need to hear. That is for us a good talk. What we think we need to hear, or what we think we need to want to hear. And everything else, what is not such a good talk, is things that we think we know, and we actually do not want to hear.
I don't think that's always necessarily true. I mean, perhaps it could be true, perhaps not, but I don't feel, to me, a lot of the things you were talking about, by what I hear you say, it's like the Dharma talks that I thought were good talks were not good talks. From what I hear you say now, the Dharma talks that I thought were good Dharma talks were not good Dharma talks by the same sort of rationale.
Not really.
Because they were ones that I wanted to hear. Like saying, in the same way, that not really could apply to the perception as well.
That, the reverse not necessarily must be true.
Not necessarily must be true.
Okay.
But not necessarily must be untrue. In the same way.
I mean, there's one conclusion from my algebra is going long. There's one way conclusion, but you never can make the reverse of the conclusion. I don't know how it is. I've been so long out of the business. How it is phrased. Anyway, one conclusion is okay, but to reverse it and say then this is true as well, that is not okay.
Enlightened to it.
What was it? You cannot prove something by the negative of it. Something like that. But let's go. Let's leave all these things. Yeah. What this is. It disturbed me. So I was thinking about it. Not because I felt criticized, because I thought, now, what is it that makes a talk good? And what is it that makes a talk not so good? I mean, good talks are normally, if I get going and explain something in detail and something in a different light that you have never heard. And that is very interesting, to follow. That's a good thing. And something that you heard often, that you're familiar with, that is not such a good thing. More or less right? More or less right? I'm asking, more or less right? More or less. Something, I'm talking about, something like last time, I was really talking about very, very basic things. Yeah. I mean, due to the people who were there. Yes. And that's why I concluded. And I just asked you, is it right? What I conclude. Things that I often talk about it, things that you, so often hear, are not really that enticing. Not really that thrilling.
Well, you talked about things like, really, I'm going to paraphrase, it's not the word you used, but about practicing seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And things like, what is the most important thing? Like, if you were going to die tomorrow, what would you wish you would have done? Mm-hmm. Or if you had only a few, fixed time, what would you do? What is important that you do in your life? And I made that decision sort of several years ago. Mm-hmm. And so, to me, it's like, I realized the value of what you were saying, but it wasn't something that really moved me, touched me, because I'd already been moved, by it. And I've already sort of, I wouldn't say beyond that, but I'm already concerned with other things further down the road. And to me, the things that are most interesting to me now are the things which I don't know, and what I'm trying to learn, trying to know. And struggling, and some things just seem I can't see a way into it. And this is the one I brought up as far as body investigation. That's probably the one thing about the body I can't.
Even Kaya has and Fabio is smiling because you start out, and then you come back to the pressing thing. I understand the pressing thing, and we are going to talk about it. Just leave. Keep to the question. Now, Kaya, was it the only thing that I was talking about, the urge, that we think about? Or did I mention something else? I should have listened to my talk before I didn't think about, going into this. But now I want to go into this. It was quite a few things. Huh?
And like you said, it was getting back to the basics and basically getting back into the train, like we need to keep going on. And how we started, not getting too comfortable and just keep pressing, and yeah.
I mean, that is not criticism. It's just the way it works. I mean, when we listen to our talk, we listen to what we want to hear. And if there is nothing for us, to listen to, I mean, then we are more or less disappointed. It's not what I said, but it's that what we don't want to hear. Or, it just is blanked out. And who blanks it out? The killers. I mean, the best example is, for me, I was so astonished. After 2 years or 3 years being here, I started understanding Thai. And I started understanding the talks of Tanacha Mahabua. So then, a few months, went out, of the talk of Tanacha Mahabua. And then then I was just curious and asked one of them, what was the talk about? And he said, it was about this. And then I asked another one, what was the talk about? And he said, it was about that. That had nothing to do. And then I asked the third person, and he had a third opinion. And I asked the fourth person, and he had a fourth opinion. And I wondered, what did we hear? Last time it was very, very basic. Very basic. If we forget the basics, we cannot advance. There's no way. If you forget the basic rules, in the basic rules, from the moment we start practicing, to the end, to the last stone that we take off, of the mantle of avijja that covers out our chitta, is the same. It's basic work. But after a while, we get the feeling, that is too basic for me, And who thinks like that? The kilesa. A very good example is, and it is in the sutras, the Lord Buddha was giving the Patimokkha, or explaining the Patimokkha, at Magha Pucca Day. You know what the Patimokkha is? The 227 rules for the monks. To a gathering of arahants. Arahants, a person who is free from dukkha, a person is free from kilesas. And what would you expect the reaction of the arahants that listen to the talk on the Patimokkha, on the rules for the monks? Oh, why does he talk about that? We are beyond that, No, they didn't react like that. They said out sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That was very well explained. It is enjoyable for the heart to hear. The basic, just the basic explanation of the rules for the monks, for arahants to listen. You understand that? No.
I'm supposed to respond.
No, you don't have. No.
Shut up.
Because the first sentence is okay, the second sentence is coming about investigation. Do you understand what I'm pointing at? The basic things Arahant, they don't have any problems with the Patimokkha because they're completely pure. I mean, the rules for the monks are there to purify the heart. I mean, what has it to do with an Arahant, He has purified, he has finished his work, he has purified his heart. Why should he listen to a basic talk like this from the Lord Buddhas to Arahants? It's just to remind every one of us. I mean, from the moment we start, it's basic until the end. We finish, it's basic. And we forget. And that is the thing that I want to mention. And that is the thing that I want to emphasize. We forget in due courses, because we're struggling with this and we're struggling with that, we forget the basic things. The basic strive, the basic thing where the energy is coming from, where our determination is coming from. And I was talking about determination, if I remember correctly. Where our effort is coming from. To do the work. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of work if it's investigation, when we investigate, we take one object, investigate it until we understand it. When we do samadhi, we take one object until we understand it. Or until we drop into the car. That's basic. And it's basic until the end. The rules are basic and sometimes we just don't like to hear that because we're actually at fault with the basic. And that's why we don't want to hear it.
I didn't say the lecture was bad.
No, I did. No, I'm not.
As good as some of
So, okay. Now you see, you're defending yourself.
No, I'm basically...
You're defending yourself.
But you're defending yourself.
No, I'm not defending.
No, I mean, it's like... I said that I thought some of your other lectures were better. I didn't say it.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. I'm not talking about that. Yeah? No doubt.
Okay.
I mean, I gave some really interesting talks. Huh?
You have.
Yes, and very inspiring talks. Yes, I know that. But that doesn't mean, it has always to be that. I mean, basic things, to remind ourselves, going throw back at the basic things is wholesome. And why I stopped you now is just because you're defending something. I said, you're defending something, and that is for me an indication that I press one of your buttons. And instead of looking, what kind of button I pressed, what thing did you miss when I was talking about last time? What things, when you practice is, where you say, or where you judge, at the moment I'm doing this is not so necessary. At the moment I do body investigation, so this is not so necessary. What things do we miss? The kilesas are always with us. And it's certainly the voice of the kilesas that tell us, this is not so necessary, that is not so necessary, this is necessary. This is important, that is important. Never forget, I mean, Dhamma maybe there, when we developed it, maybe there for a few hours a day. But the kilesas are for the rest of the day. Or they interchange, every 5 minutes, Dhamma comes in, and kilesas come in, and Dhamma comes in, kilesas comes in. So we never should forget these basics. We never should forget, our basic practice of being mindful, being aware of the things, coming into our heart. And that is when we're talking to each other, that is when we're listening to a talk, that is each time. That is also when I ask you a question. I mean, I was just amazed I didn't intend to talk about this topic at all, I was interested, and then I found, just your answer gave rise to a new talk about the basics of practice. Because then we think, after a while, and especially for you, maybe after 2 or 3 years, you feel, I don't need to hear that basic because I'm really concerned with that right now. Yes, of course you are concerned with that right now. But if we lose our basic, all this concern right now is not working. And that's where you stop. Because you lost the connection to the basic of practice. If you would understand, then you would have actually the answer now to your question about body investigation. Because I gave it to you. But not in the way that you concluded or deduce it right away. In another form. There's no problem that we cannot tackle. With sati, with awareness, and wisdom. And we start on from the beginning, and we end with sati panya, awareness and wisdom. So to give once in a while a talk about this, it reminds us not to lose track of the importance of it, because it is the basis of our practice. The basis of our practice is to be aware of what is going on, aware of our greed, aware of our interest, aware of what we deny, and aware of where we put our attention and why we put our attention. That is the basis. We need to understand when we sleep, when we see these things, we need to see the slightest aversion. When we listen to our talk, we should see the slightest aversion, and the big red alarm lamp should flash up in our head and say, okay, there's something wrong. I must be making something wrong. There is something, that I should instantly investigate and look, what I'm doing wrong. Of course, it is much more fun, if I talk about this and explain this in detail and that in detail, and then it gets driving on, and leading us, Yeah. This gives some encouragement. That's great. But we need to be reminded of the basic every now and then. And the basis of practice is nothing else than satipanya. Sati, 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 sati. Without sati, our practice is not worth anything. Because then it turns into sanya, into memory, into knowledge. Yeah, I know that. You should be, where the lamp should flash, I know what? I don't know it. I haven't understood it yet.
There's so many emotions, so many things you don't know. I feel that the big ones are more important than the subtle ones that are around here. Because the body of respiration is the thing I feel the most ignorant about.
Yes.
And therefore I need to
and I completely agree with you, because for the last 6 months, I was pointing your nose into body investigation.
I finally found a way.
Yes, okay, and that is good. But that doesn't mean that we still do not need to be reminded of our basic things. I mean, it's not criticism. Of course, the body investigation is the A and O. You say that? This is like from the Bible. It is the A and O. Yes, I mean it's the starting of the alphabet and it's the end of the alphabet.
A to Z.
Huh?
A to Z.
Yeah, A to Z. I mean, I'm using just the Greek, because in German it's the expression. Alpha to omega. And so in that term, the last talk was extremely good. I know it. Because it was stern. And if a talk becomes stern, the sterner it becomes, the more obnoxious the kilesas are. And I wondered why. And that's why I asked you. I mean, I don't mind, if people, I love to hear their opinions. I love to hear, if people criticize me. I am not beyond criticism. But it gives me an insight. Into the way the people perceive it and the way, people do not perceive what I mean. So that's wonderful. It has nothing to do with criticizing you. I mean, you should be above that by now. When I'm stern, and the sterner I get, the more I get at this obnoxious kilesas that constantly hide you or cloud your eyes. They constantly, put, this little sand in your eyes. And of course, you have to take actually an air gun, to get rid of that. And I really wonder why, I did wonder, why this last time this talk was so stern. But it was presented, there must have been, a massive amount of kilesas, sitting around.
Well, why did no one else respond at all? Neither positive nor negative.
I mean, I looked at your faces and I saw, yeah. No one of you was relaxed. But I hope, I just hope, that somebody takes it to heart. So if you understand the basics, if you understand Sila, Samadhi and Panya, whatever problem we do, I mean it will give us a solution. I mean Sila, the better we keep Sila, the more we will achieve Samadhi and understand Panya. If we have better understanding in the ways of Panya, we will perceive our problems in Samadhi clearer, so our Samadhi will develop deeper, and also our Sila will develop deeper. When our Sila develops deeper, our Samadhi will get deeper, and our wisdom will get deeper. When the wisdom gets deeper, or when samadhi gets deeper, our clarity will grow, and we will see and we will understand much easier. So panya will grow and our sila will grow. I mean, they're all connected. You cannot take one thing at one time. You cannot develop one thing at the one time, because it just doesn't work this way. I mean, they're all connected together. So when we do our investigation and we don't get any further within our investigation, or the same thing happens if we do samadhi and we don't get further in our samadhi, maybe some problems with sila. And then we look at our sila, is that our sila corrected, and then we look just through a few days, with sati, what is coming up, what is coming up, what is coming up, until we can correct our sila, and then we see our investigation is going on suddenly. Because we removed some obstacles in the apartment of sila, or department of sila. Or in the department of samadhi. Samadhi is not firm enough, we need to develop more samadhi. That's the basic. And if we keep to this basic, everything will develop, very nicely and very smoothly. But if you forget at any time of the day or at any time of our practice, this is not so important at the moment, this is more important, then we are gone. Everything is at every moment important. Sila at every moment is important. Panya at every moment is important. And samadhi at any moment is important. There's not much one thing, more important than the other. Because they work hand in hand. I mean, if you cut one hand, we cannot work. I mean, you're a watchmaker, you cut one hand off, you can't work. Of course, if you're a speaker and you cut both of your hands off, you still can work. But our skill that we develop is a mechanical skill, so we need both hands. Actually, we need 3 hands. Sila, samadhi and panya. That's it. And that's why it's necessary, it's absolutely necessary, and probably last time, it was just giving me the opportunity to get back to the basics. To remind ourselves why we are here, why we chose to be here, what is the purpose of it, what is our determination, what is our goal. Just to reflect of it gives some energy, Okay, this life, I want to make sure that I enter the stream, or that I will not be reborn again. Or that I'm just a worldling, but keeping the sila. Whatever somebody chooses, that is fine. Whatever somebody chooses for himself, that is his goal. And if I remind him, it's just bringing up his goals. Just his determination bringing up. And without determination, we don't go anywhere. Without effort, but also without pity. And when I give a good talk, of course increases pity. The joy, I wonder, I really wouldn't mind, to be in the place of these arahants who lived at the time of the Lord Buddha, when the Lord Buddha gave this talk on the 227 years. What was going on? I mean, that would have been so interesting. What has gone on in the hearts of these arahants, who are completely free of the kilesas, and listen to the laying down of the rules to gather or to keep the kilesas in a certain enclosure. I mean, I just wonder what has gone on. They all enjoyed the talk. And it had nothing to do with it. Just this, makes me wonder. He looks like a begossener poodle. Have you understand that? The term begossener poodle?
Begossener poodle?
Yeah. I mean a dog, that has just been dumped into the water. You have an expression like that? Somebody who just has been put down? Huh?
I brush it off. You told us to brush it off.
No, not to brush it.
Well, can I ask my question?
I know your question.
I know. That's why I said, can I ask it again? No, I mean, you say I'll get there.
Yes.
It's like, I've been to some really strange places which I couldn't even describe. And to some extent, I haven't a clue what's going on in their minds. But something's going on. And that's the one thing that you have mentioned many times. And yet, that's one thing that I just can't seem to see it in any way that's really relevant. I mean, I can see the body as particles and how they just disperse and go back into nature. And in that sense, I mean, if I think of it in that way, well, okay, everything in the universe is made out of particles, and it lasts for a while, and it disperses and it's gone. There's something. But actually, earth, air, fire, and water, I can't, like I say, it's solid things, liquid things, gaseous things, and fires things. I know it's not right.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
Yes.
I'm looking for a clue.
Yes.
Give me a clue. Is it bigger than a bread box?
Huh?
What color is it?
Huh? No. I mean, he gathered. He came to the conclusion that our scientific approach to these elements is not right. It doesn't give us, it doesn't get us to the point.
You're saying me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that's how I was taught. And
yes.
That's how I see the world. When I try to see it, earth, air, fire, and water, as being four elements that make up everything in the universe,
yes.
And I come up against a brick wall.
A what?
A brick wall.
Yes. Yes.
I can't see it. And I can't understand how to see it. I mean, I've exhausted every way I can think of.
Yes.
To beat my head on.
That's why you should, should go to the basics, stop thinking and I'm looking at it again.
Well, I'm not thinking. I am just looking at it because you can't think it's about.
Well, then you should do some investigation. And I said, and exactly that what I said, and what you negated is correct. You look at it with a scientific mind. And that's why you never can understand.
I'm just looking at it.
Yes.
I'm just watching it, looking at it.
Please, do not defend.
Just don't.
Do not defend.
I'm not defending. I'm describing what I'm
Listen. Yes. Here. I mean, just listening, You have your ideas, you see that you're running your head against the wall, and you're still not willing to listen. When I say, taking these 4 elements, as we are taught in the West, okay, earth element, particles and so on, fire element, what did you say, energy, water element, what did you say, liquid, and gas. I mean, that is scientific. And that's, yes, but that is not the way, I said, of course, if you take it scientifically, you will run against the wall.
That's why I'm asking.
Yes. But you denied in the first phrase, and you listen to this one. You will see yourself, you denied it. And I said, when you take the scientific approach, you will run against the wall. And you said, no.
I'm not using the science. What I'm saying is that is the goal. That's what I always saw in this world.
So what are you using now?
Nothing. I'm just looking at it. And I can't get beyond it. I'm trying observing it.
I would... Okay.
I've done asking.
So you're at the wall. No? Okay. What would be an option to do? Leave it out for a moment. Just leave it out, and see the things as they are. Put your concentration in the body and see your liver or your lungs.
So what you're saying is that when I've done most of the body investigation, I didn't get any results while I was doing the investigation. The investigation was too late. Enough investigation. The results would come later. Are you saying that that's how I understand the
I personally understand the 4 elements very, very last. It's not easy to understand.
But should I back off the 4 elements and work on something else?
Yes.
Should I come back to the 4 elements, or should I wait for it to come back to me?
It will come, you will understand them, sooner or later you will understand. But the first of the things, in the 4 elements, there's nothing that is really loathsome. And a super is, the first thing is to be loathsome. To show us super, the difference between super and asupra. Super is the beautiful, asupra is the not beautiful. And body investigation should bring up the non-beautiful. So, the 4 elements are pretty much neutral. They don't show us any loathsomeness. They do not bring up any unpleasant feeling. So, for the moment, it's still necessary to bring up unpleasant feelings. To see the quivering heart. To see the lungs, Go diving and see the cells of the lungs. See that bloody mess that is inside your body. Yes? But you have to see it not only one time. You have to see it until it makes click. Until you really understand.
I've seen most of it. There's still some parts of
yes.
It that is still conjure up. And I've seen
the moment.
Most of them.
Ask yourself, truly, honestly, do I understand the nature of the body? If you don't, go on. Even if you see it 1,000 times, the loathsomeness of the body. Even if you've seen it 1,000,000 times, but you still do not know the true nature of the body, you have to go on.
I would assume that I go on and on So it just drops away by itself. Is that correct? That it just drops away
Yes,
by itself?
it will drop away by itself,
Okay.
but not through our. Okay, now I got it. It will drop itself only then if a big insight comes. And then not only the body investigation drops away, but also greed and hate. And don't worry, that will take years. Year in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And some of the times you just don't want to, you just don't see any improvement at all. You don't see any deeper insight. You just see you still have to do the work because it's finished. Do the work, see it, get it clearly, get it in front of your eyes like you like you cut out the liver of somebody else, and just place it in front of your eyes, look it, until you see it. And cut it up and look at the nature of it. And then cut the next organ up and look at the nature of it. Then cut up the bones of it, then look at the nature of it. Then cut up the heart and look at the nature of it. Then cut up the veins and look at the nature of it. Then cut up look at the blood and the nature of it. And so on, and so on, and so on.
Well, what if it becomes not lost? Because I used to just really be grossed out by these medical journals and magazines. And now I can look at the world goes like, being like as if it's what I mean. And there's just no real, and when I do the body investigation, now and then I get some lows in this, but most of it.
Okay. Yes, okay, go on. As long as you sometimes get some loathsomeness, go on. I remember about two or 3 months ago, where you came in and you really saw the loathsomeness very clearly. And to this state you want to get.
Well, the Mahabura book, and then I found it loathsome.
No, you came in after meditation, after your mind was extremely calm, and in the morning you suddenly saw your body as it is, and it was so gross. That's what I want you to go back to. The work that leads to this kind of result, that shows you the gross of this body.
But it gets less and less gross.
Doesn't matter. Just do the work, and you will get the results. Patience. If I would have been so impatient as you, I would still be in the same position as you.
My wife used to say that I brought patience with people in the hospital. I've become a patient person. If you think I need patience, so much.
Well, you need to become even more patient. And at the moment you are patient as well here. But a patient that must become patient. If you would have listened to all of my talks, I sometimes explain the 4 elements. And what do I say? The earth element is solidity. The water element is connectivity because water connects. The fire element is temperature and energy. And the air element, wind moves. I mean, see how we don't only have a splint in our eyes, we have a big beam in front of our eyes. We can't even think about it. And then everything makes sense. The movement, the temperature, the energy, the connectivity that connects, and the stability. So simple.
I was halfway there when I said solidity and energy because fire.
Yeah, but it's also temperature.
Energy.
And by temperature, you see, no? Solidity can only be connected through water. That's why 70% of our body is water, because that it was a connect each element. Wind. I mean about everything. I mean for the body you take water. For thought, what do you take? The connectivity of thought.
See, this is almost scientific.
No.
Not. If I take a block and cook it, it doesn't have one in it. So what you're saying is it's not made up of any one element. It's like it's 4 elements, but it's more. It's not physical elements. It's use the wrong word. It's like they're mental concepts.
No, it's not mental concepts. Method, like he said, mythological concepts.
Sorry?
What is it word?
What can you
Metaphorical, mythological. What? Mythology. Yeah.
Metaphorical, which means symbolic. Not in the scientific.
And I explained them before. Explained them before. So. Just think of, just think about the blood, and then, just use chemistry. The atom is the solidity, the electrons that are running around it. The running around of the electrons is, movability. And the air between them. Look at it, and you will see it. That's all what it is, There's one atom with 17 electrons running around it on different planes, and then the next one is an atom with just 6 electrons, and it makes a difference. Seems to make a difference, but where's the difference? Huh? Where's the difference? Where's the difference between our skin and the air? There are chemical elements in the air and there are chemical elements in our skin. So there are atoms in our skin and there are atoms in the air. I mean, that is why we can't get beyond our own imagination. That's why I said, going to a space, where there is no imagination, no memory, nothing in. Look at it, experience it.
You basically showed me because it all falls into place.
Of course it falls into its place. How can it not fall into its place when I explain it? But it's stupid, that I explain it because you can't get, you can't get the wisdom from it. That is, I'm stupid, for explaining things to you that you should find out for yourself. Yeah, but you have to see it for yourself now. I took away the insight that comes from this. Maybe when the insight comes from, when you do the proper investigation, when you really look at the elements and see it, you get an insight. Now you just have knowledge.
I can now do the investigation, and I think you probably because it's knowing that's important. The insights to know.
No. But, believe whatever you want to believe. Ajahn Mun never explained anything at all. Tanacha Mahabua explained nearly everything. And he said, in point of view of his talk, I am so stupid. Because my own Venerable Teaching Master was never explaining anything and trying to get the wisdom that his students or his disciples developed the wisdom to see it for themselves. He pointed, their nose at the problem and then find it out for yourself. See it for yourself because it brings such a difference to find out something for themselves than just somebody to tell it. And Tanacha Mahabua, said or questioned himself and said, maybe I'm going to make a big mistake.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the book.
Yeah, you read it in the book.
Right. I think.
And I think, I'm doing the same mistake.
Yeah, you said that very clearly.
Yes, I know I'm doing the same mistake. Because then you come up, and then you explain me. You explain it with my own words, but you don't explain the things with your own wisdom. And that's why I say you get stuck, and then the more I explain, the more you get stuck. Because the more you think you know. And now you think, if you do investigation, you see it. Of course you see it. And then I ran up to Tanacha Mahabua and said, yes, I see it all. And he said, I'm bored. Because that is not your wisdom. You still haven't understood it. You just mentioned me, in other words. You just rephrase what I said. No. Not even that. He should give us, the person who explains, if he really has the wisdom, he can explain it. A completely different concept. Because he has went through the door and looked from there. And that is, that is just a contrary view.
Well, when I was saying
don't defend. Please keep quiet. Please keep quiet and just reflect about it. Please, just listen. Today, just listen. Listen. Let it suck into the heart. Just let it go into the heart. You don't see yourself how you defend yourself. You want to say something. Why do you want to say something? Because you think I don't understand. I understand you better than you think. I understand the way, the kilesas are working. I understand the way of knowledge. I understand the way of wisdom. That's why I say this. Of course, yes. I mean, I'm so stupid, because I think, you ask, you back me, and I question and I answer the question. But, sometimes I really doubt, from the results I see, I really doubt that it's really helpful. I mean, a lot of the things, I have to figure it out for myself. And actually, that was good. I mean, it gave me so deep insights, into the nature of the things, how they work together. But of course, sometimes to talk about these things, it can be encouraging. And that's why I tell you. To see, to put the people in the right direction. Okay. But sometimes, I'm afraid, I'm taking them the chance to develop their own wisdom. And the wisdom is the only thing, that cuts through the fetters. It's just the same thing, it is, in some way, it is very helpful, to look to look at a book where we see images, of corpses cutting up. I mean, that's the first thing. We get used to it. Then we go, we go to an actually cut up, live cut up, with much cross. The more we go to a live cut up, the more we get used to it. And then we think, okay, that's perfect. But that's just knowledge. That's not insight. Insight is seeing that this body, and each kind of body we see, be it animal body or human body, it's just of the same make. It has a brain, it has eyes, it has ears, it has nose, it has a mouth. It has senses. Just made the same way. We don't want to see it. It just works in the same way. But we just don't want to see it because we want to differentiate. And then we want the human body, we differentiate. This is a woman body, this is a male body. And even, between male bodies we differentiate. This is me, that is him. I mean, he has not such a nice skin, smooth skin. He has a smooth skin, so he's younger. He has an older skin, so he's older. I mean, take off the skin and you don't see anything. You just see a mess. That's all what you see, a mess of blood, of pus, of piss, of shit, of skin, of fat. That's all what we see. But we still use, the out things, to describe it. Oh, that kind of mess is young. That kind of mess is a female. This kind of a mess is a male. And the moment we think this is a female, we want it. Or if it's a male, we want it when we are female. Do we want this mess? Do we want this mess? No. We don't want to see it. We just get used to seeing it, and used to seeing it, and don't catch it. That's all one and the same thing. We just don't catch it. We just don't get it. The coin just does not drop. That's it. The coin just does not drop. When the coin drops, you finish. If that coin doesn't drop, that everything is of the same nature, it just doesn't drop. If everything is the same mess, you don't want to differentiate between male and female, or young and old. It's all the mess. It's all bloated up shit. But we differentiate between the shit, to be the blood, or be it pus, or be it this, or be it that, be it sinews, bones, and things like that. Or hair, or, skin, or fat, or grease, or whatever. That's a problem. We don't see it. It is of the same kind of nature. We see it for a moment, and then we are fooled again. Then we see it again and we are fooled again. It's just the same thing, when we take off our body, put it and place it in front of you in a mess or, orderly. We see it, the body is not the chitta. The next moment, we see it. It's the same thing. Now you have to go to the toilet. Why don't you?
I want to ask my question, but...
Yes, you get your question.
But can I go to the toilet first?
No?
I thought the last time said if I go toilet, I don't have to ask for permission, Ajahn.
No, you don't have to ask the permission. I just want you to stay a little bit longer with the unpleasant feelings of...
Oh, okay.
That's all. International Mahaprabhu gives that nobody dares to go to the toilet. I don't mind if you go to the toilet, but now that it was just very interesting, I wondered why you wanted to go to the toilet.
Because I knew I can listen to it again.
No, because it was just pressing on. And it was pressing on. I mean, he has his way, to escape. You have your ways to escape. When it's really getting pressing. And it was just getting pressing. Just because of your movement up, it has finished the talk. Now you can ask your question. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, sorry, folks. Ajahn.
Don't beat up your kilesas, because they are the ones who are guilty.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, saying sorry doesn't make anything better. It's finished, So.
Ajahn, last night, there's a being that came to my play. I don't know what Brahma form you're not able to see. At first I thought this being attacked me.
Mm-hmm.
Then subsequently it moves on. Then, he's giving, I think it's a she, because the finger is very feminine. She's giving me a massage.
A being.
A being, a sentient being.
I understood.
Okay.
Being.
Being, okay. Giving me a body massage.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, fine. Because it was very tight, the body, a couple of weeks. And then, when I move on to my face,
mm-hmm.
this being puts her mouth over my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's not very appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to suck. So I react very fast. I blow.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing away. I said, get out of my practicing area. What you did, if it's unwholesome or unskillful intention,
mm-hmm.
then leave immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then, okay, fine. Then I went to sleep. But as you know, I always observe my waking up and all those things. Even I wake up to weep. Last night, then normally about 2.5 or 3 hours I wake up from my sleep. But this time around 4, because I set the alarm. 4.5, I woke up without any interruption in between. And I breathe. Says 8. Okay, look. Then when I sit, because the past few times when I sit, my hand is still very cold, icy cold. I knew that there's some blockage because I know about the body.
That's what?
My hand, even after 2.5 hours, usually 2 hours, 2.5 hours, it's still cold, very cold.
Mm-hmm.
But this morning when I sat, the hand is warm.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up, I said I don't felt cold. And then somehow it triggers I misunderstood the intention of this being that came last night. Because I knew within my body I have excess wind, for a couple of months. And if you can remember, the last time before I left, I was telling you that I have problem with Buddha, right? I still bear it. Even at home, I was trying very hard. But today, I got it. I got it. I was like, so I do not want to wrong anyone, because when this particular being do the massage, it seems that this being knew where's my blockage, because when I sit, I know where's the blockage point, because I'm very sensitive to the point area. And when she did the massage, I think it's a she, because her finger is very feminine. It's pressing at that particular point that I have in the bottom. So I was thinking, could I misunderstood, because you notice that I've been trying to work out the female like over being, but still like, there's some problem in there.
Why do you ask? Why do you ask me? Ask that being.
Sorry?
Ask that being.
The problem is that because I reacted very fast, so the heart was beating very fast.
I mean that, if it is a deva, it will understand. Right?
I'm not the deva to understand. I want to understand myself. If my failure.
I mean, if you think you did something wrong, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it.
I thought so.
I mean, if it is, if it's going into the central realm, then okay, say I am within the precepts, please respect them.
Yeah, that's what I thought so. Yeah. Because I remember there's one episode, I think, Ajahn Chor, he was in the forest and then he was very tired, he didn't have food. And then there's one Devadatta always hang around his practicing area, say that want to offer him food, and does it over his body, and it's a female Deva. He refuses. He said, then there was some communication. He said, even though we're different rank, nobody can see you, but it's not appropriate because you're female and man. So he rather die to protect the Vinaya. So I didn't know, because when this being put the mouth over my mouth, I thought, hey, that's not appropriate, you see. But today I investigated, I felt better with the practice. I felt the body better. So I could have misunderstood the intention that it being, which I thought I asked you.
Yeah, but what can I say?
I thought you're more expert, and maybe you can give me some tips.
I mean, you know for best, if you felt, it was intruding something, then it's intruding. Yeah, okay. If you think you need something to block, then you block it. I mean, be careful. Maybe it was only wanted to help you. Maybe it wanted to remove a block. But if it's going too far, okay, then just tell that being, okay, this is too far. And maybe it tells you why it needs to do it, or why, or maybe it can't. I mean, they're also sensual beings, they also have sensual desires, and even if it's a female, I mean, there are lesbians around in this world.
Sorry?
There are lesbians. And some of them, they're actually in human form, living in the kitchen. Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I was like, Devas in human form. Okay, sorry.
No, it not necessarily need to be devas, to be lesbians, but, women are attracted by other women and men are attracted by other men, But it's still not correct. I mean, as the moment it becomes in the sexual realm, okay, stop.
But I wasn't sure that this particular being is trying to
it is,
out
of course it helped you a lot, so be grateful for that. Okay. But you still have to stop it when it's doing something wrong.
Yeah, I know, that's what I thought. Yeah, I changed that person, the being away because I wasn't sure of the intention.